Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo Podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. Now this one, I definitely wasn't expecting to talk about, and honestly, I'm still not even sure I want to talk about it, because the news has somewhat kind of passed already. As usual. But I gotta touch on it. And I think you know what I'm going to talk about the second I say this next word. The second I say this next word. Trump made a statement at one of his recent speeches. And it had to do with the UFC. Now, if you haven't seen this, you're living under a rock. And you need to crawl out from that rock. Because even people who don't give a fuck about UFC have seen this clip.
We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little...
They're laughing at him.
Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too. And
come on, man. What are we doing here, buddy? Huh? Now, am I mad about this? I don't know. I'm not exactly surprised. We all know Donald and Dana are tight. Dana even gave a speech at Donald Trump's inauguration to show his loyalty to Trump. Now, at first glance, the idea of a UFC event at the White House seems, I don't know, ridiculous and unrealistic, like they were laughing at him as soon as he said that. And they're all his supporters. But they thought he was joking. They thought it was funny. You can't have a UFC fight at the White House. What, are you kidding me, bro? But it's, they thought it was, anyone would think it's just one of those Trump one-liners that gets thrown out and there's no follow-through. But let's just zoom in on this for a little. For entertainment purposes, if nothing else, okay? First off, Dana White has always been clear. He does not do outdoor events. Ever. He said, I don't do outdoor venues because there's so many different things, from weather, it can be rain, wind, hot, cold, humidity, whatever. Which, to be fair, is a very valid point. Weather conditions could totally not only ruin the viewing experience for the audience, but it would also impact the fighters themselves, altering the fight results. Now, when you're trying to keep competition fair and consistent, you need to eliminate as many external variables as possible. But here's the thing. Both Dana and Donald are known for saying things that don't always come to fruition. They talk big. They hype things up. Sometimes plans are real, almost finalized, then boom, something shifts and it all falls apart. Still, this one feels a little different. This might actually happen. Now, why do I say that? Well, Donald is the President of the United States. So if anyone could greenlight something like this, even something as wild as a UFC fight at the White House, it's him. And Donald has a reputation for doing things no one expects. Ridiculous ideas, out of left field moments, giant swings that somehow land. Pair that with Dana, who's always said he'd do anything for Trump. Their relationship runs deep. Dana's got the ability to make history in the MMA world, and he's done it before. So yeah, I could see this happening, and if it does, it would be monumental. Not just for the UFC, but for American pop culture as well. Imagine the new fans this would pull in. But the big question becomes, who headlines that card? If that were to happen, who headlines that card? And ever since Donald John Trump put out this speech, suddenly we're seeing both John Jones and Conor McGregor now showing interest. The two guys who've been begging, the two guys who we, as fans, have been begging for over the past 2 years, hoping they'd give us the super fights we've been patiently waiting for. And instead, they just let us down time and time again. But now, Conor McGregor says he's interested. He got a post right here that says July 4th next year is a Saturday. Regarding President Trump's UFC White House event, I will be reigning president of Ireland just under 1 year when I step out on the lawns of the White House to throw down. Epic proportions, or as I like to call it, Tuesday at the office. Vote McGregor. Now, he says Tuesday at the office, but then at the beginning he said next year the 4th is on a Saturday. Which, by the way, it's unbelievable how all this lines up. July 4th next year, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States. July 4th is on a Saturday, which is when you would hold a pay-per-view event anyway. And Conor McGregor claims he's going to be the president of Ireland. I mean, it's not out of left field to think that this could happen. We also have John Jones all over social media reacting to Trump's comments, saying some ridiculous shit as well. A few days ago, he says, I just re-entered the testing pool. That lasted for about 2 weeks. Figured we'd keep everyone's options open. Oh, John Jones. What a crazy motherfucker, dude. He also had this. Someone posted this graphic, and then Johnny Bones says, I like this. Come on, John Jones. Come on. And that's not it. On Monday, he drops another message, but it's more of a cryptic message. And this is it here. Let's see. It feels nice to be the hunter and not the hunted for once. It could be interpreted in many ways. Who knows if he's just saying shit, but as most people would interpret that, that would mean that he's now fighting or hunting Aspinall rather than Tom Aspinall hunting him, because of the fact that he announced his retirement. Actually, he didn't. Well, he did announce it. I was going to say he didn't. Dana did, but then he did as well afterwards, so... Now look, there's no point in getting your hopes up too high, especially not with these group of guys. If you followed MMA long enough, you know how it goes. A lot of talk, not a lot of action. We've been in many situations before where you're almost guaranteed to have something, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from underneath you, and it all falls apart. It happened time and time again, especially in the UFC. But what if this was the plan all along? What if John and Conor were holding out for this exact moment, waiting for the perfect stage, the perfect payday, the perfect spotlight? Because let's be honest, the kind of money that a White House card could bring in would be far beyond anything the UFC could offer. And again, let me reiterate. The USA turns 250 years old next year in 2026. July 4th lands on a Saturday. Donald Trump is and will be the president. Dana and Trump together are capable of pulling off something this massive, especially for a historical occasion like this. McGregor's running for the president of Ireland. Jon Jones is back in the testing pool 2 weeks after retiring after ghosting Aspinall for nearly 2 years. So, could we actually see Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones and Conor McGregor versus Chandler same night, same card on the White House lawn? It sounds insane, but also kind of possible. What do you think?
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast.